Like they don't have. Is it pods? They go small. You're on mute, Jack.
I was gonna say, do they just go Trace Jackson Davis?
Who I love, and they've been playing
It's fine.
Spencer Post. Is that his name?
Quentin Post, BC
Quentin
guy.
Post. Yeah.
We looked at his tape for the Celtics at 30.
Which is cool.
Yes, we did. Sick video.
I love that for Quentin Post.
He's
but
pretty good, but he's
shooting wise, at least you got Jimmy kind of shoots, Steph obviously, and then Pods are healed. Is your fifth guy?
yeah. It's
too bad they didn't
just-
get KD
Yeah.
because they
well,
wanted.
that's
him
my
up
thing.
front.
It's not too
Yeah,
late.
it's like they're both their second options. Like this Warriors were Jimmy's second option, and the Jimmy was the Warriors' second option. So that doesn't scream like a marriage that's gonna work out well long term. Just
Yeah.
feels like it's gonna be very weird.
Well, they paid Jimmy, so that's really all that matters to him.
They
Like,
did.
Once he has his money, he's going to commit to playing. Probably he's going to feel respected because they gave him way too much money. Even though for the time frame it's in, it really doesn't matter. But I don't think any other team was going to pay him that sort of money to play basketball. So good for him. He wins again somehow after just lighting the bridge on fire in Miami. And now Golden State is in the big pocket of teams in the West that all think they have a chance.
Oh,
Yeah,
are we
look.
officially live on both streams now?
Maybe.
I see the Twitter one is up.
Oh,
Okay.
No. As in first. Oh, first the floor's Twitter too. Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
Do you want me to play the video? Should I
Alright,
play the
hang
video?
on. Hold, and we'll.
Oh,
I think we might be live. Let me see.
I think so.
Yeah, we're live. We did it.
Hello.
Fuck yeah, well done, Ben. All right,
That's
let's do it.
that rocks.
Let's hit it.
All right, I'll hit the video. Hold up. Ready? Here we go.
Fuck yeah.
Let me do it. Confirming we live. Thanks, Ben. You're a legend. All right, here we go. Hold,
King.
please.
Absolute technical opportunities. Unreal.
My only critique is
Unreal.
it should have just said, "How about that floor?"
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that floor? Let's fucking go, dude. Yeah, like they could win a playoff series now. I like it purely from if I'm like I view everything through a Celtics lens, right? Like, can the Warriors get a 1-8 matchup with the Thunder and like take them to 6 games? Like, I'm a believer.
You're being an
Jimmy
annoying
Butler.
playoff team.
Yeah, dude. Jimmy, Steph, and Draymond Green against a team that's still quite inexperienced as a whole. Granted, they've got like a talent and just winning like massive advantage. Like they're on pace for 65 plus wins. But, you know, they kind of shut themselves a little bit in that Mavs series last year. And outside of SGA, it's, you know, I got questions about pretty much everybody besides like Hart and Slam.
Exactly. Shout out RJ. RJ, you don't have to donate money, man, but thank you. We appreciate you.
King.
He asked, which of these two teams don't make the playoffs? Mavs, Kings, Suns, Dubs, Spurs. Which two miss the playoffs? Shit.
Kings feels like the
Suns,
lock.
Kings.
If we go
Think
in
Suns,
reverse
Kings.
order, like process of elimination, I'm putting Kings at the bottom. Like,
Yes.
granted, it was their first game, but Cody Zeller on the move.
They just
Him and
dumped
his
Cody
Mac.
Zeller.
Cody Zeller on the move. I love it.
I agree with this, Chemical.
Yeah,
That's what
Kings
I
and
think.
Suns. Kings, Suns. If Kyrie gets injured for 3 weeks, the Mavs might be done.
That's true too.
Spurs as well. Like I love the like the fit and like the future of Fox and Wemby, but
Yeah.
they got like proper work to do before like they make the playoffs. Like they're going to be lucky to get
True.
into the 7 or the 8 spot of the play-in. And if you're in the 9/10 spot, it's just hard because you got to win 2 road games. Or if you're in the 9 spot, you have 1 road game. So it's like and you got to beat 2 like pretty competent teams. So
Booty.
hey,
Hello.
I can't hear anything.
We hear you.
well, yeah, we hear you.
All right, let me do this. I'm
There
gonna put
we
on a
go.
blank background.
How about that floor? No, that's fine, man. You don't stress about the graphics or anything. Spoony, can you hear us now?
Now I can, yeah.
Okay, fucking hell.
Board.
Look at this. This is like the Avengers Endgame. Is that Endgame? Yeah, where
Yeah.
the
portals.
the circles portals open up, and I shotgun
seen
Thor. I shotgun Thor personally.
I haven't seen it either, but I'm down.
You haven't seen it?
Jesus.
We've had this conversation before. I shouldn't.
Yeah, you know I haven't seen it.
Yeah, the
Well,
podcast
everybody.
answer to TNT. That's right. RJ,
Damn right.
Appreciate it. Spoony, we were just kind of talking like the Jimmy trade and who misses the playoffs in the West and stuff. But I don't know. I'm interested in what you think about the Jimmy trade.
I think that he's a really nice fit in some ways for Golden State, but can you really play him with Draymond? Like, obviously you can play him with Draymond, but I think it's a weird fit offensively with those
It
two
worked with
guys out
Bam.
there. It did work with Bam. That's true. That's a really good point, Jake. I think maybe you
Got
just
him.
convinced me right there. And they have like other dudes who can shoot. Wiggins, like Jimmy's just like a better version of Andrew Wiggins, right? So
Yes.
I don't think they'll really miss him too much. And like if you put a dude who knows how to play basketball at that high of a level next to Steph Curry, he's going to be super effective. So to me, it's kind of terrifying if I'm being totally honest, but I don't think they'll make it out of the West
Yeah, nah.
anyway. So like, I think it's a solid trade for them. You have to do it, I think, to just like try to wring out whatever last year or two you can of Steph Curry's prime and see what happens. But, you know, long-term, I don't know, you know, they're going to be in a
There
tough
is no
way in a
no
couple-
long term.
Exactly. It's
and
over.
They shouldn't,
Yeah.
they shouldn't give a fuck about long term.
No.
I'm just hoping they can beat up OKC or Denver a little bit for us.
Yeah.
Sam,
Hey,
your
I
Pistons
saw.
got someone. Yeah, Dennis
Oh.
Schroeder's going to the Pistons
Breaking news.
Oh, that's actually nice.
in the
Yeah, not bad.
in the Jimmy trade.
That's actually nice, dude. Because they like desperately need someone else that can attack and like penetrate and initiate.
He's a little pesky defender too.
yeah.
Got some of the longest arms you'll ever see.
He's funny, man. Like he feels very context dependent to be effective because like on the Warriors just did not work at all. But like the OKC when it was like him, Chris Paul, and SGA running those 3-guard lineups, he was awesome.
Yep.
He was really
Yep.
good on the Lakers. He
The
was
Nets,
really good.
he was great.
Yeah, yeah, dude. So I think in theory I like it, but maybe it'll be like a it doesn't work situation. But I think it will because I'm assuming he'll just be like their sixth man, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I would guess that's what it'll be. They are still recovering from the bomb that Darius Garland put on them last night to beat them,
man.
which was devastating on two fronts. But man, I would like to see the Pistons keep pushing. They've been a fun team to watch. They play a lot of close games. They're exciting. Cade's been a really exciting watch. He's put up like video game number. He's putting up like the Luka numbers or like whatever you want to call them lately. He's just nailing triple doubles every other game.
Yeah,
30
video
plus
game
point
turnovers
games.
too.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And I mean,
Lie
Ivy's
down.
hurt, right? Like, is Ivy going to come back
He's out.
this year?
He's out. He's
Yeah.
out.
So
Yeah, he's
they
tough.
really needed additional ball handling. So I like it for them. I like Schroeder. I have no idea though. Like, is he going to be great? Is he going to be trash? Is he going to be somewhere in between? Who knows? But I like when young teams are like, okay, we're finally at the position where we feel like we're good enough to start adding instead of continually stripping it down. And so I think it's a good sign. If I was a Pistons fan, I'd be pumped just from like a process standpoint. I'm like, we're finally trying to be good again. This is
Yes.
fantastic.
Exactly that. And RJ, do they take the Heat for the 6th seed? I don't know. They've cooled off after going on a crazy 8-2, 7-3 run, whatever it was. We'll have to see what happens for Miami because the trade for them, as like unmoving as it may feel, like they did a good job of replacing him. Like Jake said, Jimmy's a like more elevated version of Wiggins, but if you're bringing in somebody to try and close the gap that is left by Jimmy, it's not a bad dude to bring in.
And while they're only a game ahead of the Pistons, like Jimmy wasn't playing. So like as far as this team goes, like you're just adding Wiggins to the team. I think it's a hilarious return in like the fact that the Heat only got Andrew Wiggins. I guess Kyle Anderson's there now as well, right? And a first round pick for Jimmy Butler. Like I know he's older and Like even I mean, like the Luka return is insane, but like it's essentially got two role players and a first round pick, a protected first round pick for
Davion Mitchell too, if you want to count him as any sort of value.
True. It's like I actually like Davion Mitchell.
Still bad.
And
I do too, but it's still bad value for Jimmy.
He'll if this is gonna happen, you should have done it in the off season and gotten and this seems to be a trend like going around the league, man. Like that's the Schroeder trade.
It's just Shams being late on the Schroeder thing.
So who had the Schroeder trade first?
I think it was a guy.
Yeah, James Edwards, Detroit Free Press. I think this is
Okay, nice.
Clippers getting bogged on.
Yeah.
No shit. Okay.
So the Hawks, I guess, is
Amari Sankofa of the Detroit Free Press had the Schroeder thing.
Really quick on Butler.
Yeah.
Do you think we're entering a world where guys like dudes who are going to get the max are just like less valuable because teams don't want to pay that next contract because it's like $300 million? And especially some of these older dudes, I feel like, you trade for like a 34, 35-year-old star 5 years ago. It was like nearly a full haul. And now it's like they're getting traded around. Like Brandon Ingram barely cost less than Jimmy Butler. It's pretty insane.
Right. The CBA is a motherfucker. Yeah. We kind of talked about this with Cam before you guys arrived. Teams are terrified. They do not want to be tied to long-term money. They don't want to miss on giving those big contracts out because if you do miss, you're going to be heavily restricted in what you can do to put better players to kind of mask the miss on the big name guy. Like, look at Phoenix. Phoenix has just been obliterated by this CBA because they have no way of bringing in anybody to play next to Durant, Booker, and Beal.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be the Suns. That's where we're at.
Yeah, I think right now we're seeing both. It's like on one hand you've got the extreme of the Mavs not wanting to pay Luka the supermax. It sounds like, and that sounds like a variety of things. Yeah, I can get as the sun comes up, I can get naked. That's totally cool.
I'll drop some buttons.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like on one hand, you've got the Mavs being hesitant to give Luka the supermax, and that seems like partly the Mavs being just like scared,
dumb
to like scared of Luka and his conditioning, who by the way looked fucking very skinny in his Lakers uniform today. You've got the Sixers. Yeah, and then
excuse the screen while I make a background. Hold up,
I'm
I'm cooking something. Just ignore it. I'm doing something.
On the other end of the spectrum, you've got the Sixers who extended Joel Embiid, who you would think is like the poster boy of people that like you don't want to give supermax type extensions to. And so I think, and then the Celtics gave Jaylen Brown a supermax, who is kind of the type of player you don't want to give a supermax to.
Correct.
Someone that's not a surefire first or second team All NBA guy. You don't want to give those types of guys supermaxes to. The good thing with Jaylen is that he's very durable, very valuable type of archetype, and also like in the Celtics context of trying to win a title right now, then it was fine, and they were the title, so it doesn't matter. So I think we're gonna see. Like I think you got to go one way or another. But like Ingram, that's an example of like you can't give someone like that a max, let alone a supermax. And
the reality hasn't set in yet where they're like, oh yeah, like this is the acceptable level of money for me to make at my tier of superstar in the league. Like these guys all think, oh, I'm the number one on this team, I should get this much money. And the team can't feel that way anymore because it's like, well, nobody would ever take your contract back if we had to move off of you for some reason. And we also can't make a winning team if you're the guy getting all that money. The Raptors are putting themselves in quite the situation because I believe they extended quickly. I don't know what RJ's contract is, but now they have this Brandon Ingram decision looming. They've also paid Scotty from what I understand. So
yes,
they've already like compiled a few different iterations of the contract that maybe you don't want to have.
Yeah, quickly I think got like 100 million, didn't he? It was something. It was like 5 for 100, and then I think Scotty Barnes is on like whatever the supermax equivalent is, coming off a rookie contract. And now you have Brandon Ingram. Now, RJ is not on a cheap contract either, but I don't think it's like too ridiculous. So, they're like, I don't know what the plan is up there, and I'm not a Scotty Barnes guy, so fuck them.
Yeah, like I think it's a good call, Sam. Like, but here's the good news for these number one-ish guys in the previous CBA iteration is that Brandon Ingram is not going to get a max. He's going to get a Derek White type deal, maybe more, maybe a bit less. The great news for Brandon Ingram is that's going to be a 4 years, $100 million. 4 years, $120 million. The great news for anybody that plays basketball in the National Basketball Association is that you're going to be rich as fuck. And it doesn't matter if you're a minimum guy or if you're a fringe all-star, it doesn't matter. Like the money is so insane. Like the Supermax that Luka was going to sign, whoever's the next Supermax guy is going to be, he's going to be the individual per season numbers are 70 million plus. It's just like everyone's going to be happy essentially.
Yeah.
Like and teams that are like going to be can now hide behind the shield of the CBA of like, oh, we can't pay you this much because if we do that, then we're going to completely screw ourselves from a team building standpoint. The good news is you just got paid Jalen Suggs or Jalen Johnson 5 years, $150 million. It's like you're gonna cry into your mansion. It's a good problem to have.
Reggie Jackson has been waived. Is
Oh!
14 for the Celtics.
I've got Stein, Chris Haynes, and Shams in the middle of the screen.
All right, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
read
yeah.
any of them really.
Oh, shit. Hold up. Let me get rid of Stein. I feel like we just need Chris Haynes and Shams anyways, and then I can make the rest bigger.
Chris Haynes
That's
being
big.
the second man is a big step up for him.
Well, I had Woj and I had to delete it because
That's what
Sad,
happens
sad.
when you drop the Haynes briefs, man.
Drop the breach.
there we
Drop
go.
the
Can we
verse.
read that? Is that better?
That's
I think
better. Nice.
A little bit better, yeah. All right, we'll rock with that. Maybe just make it Shams at some point because I don't know how
Yeah.
much Chris Haynes is bringing. But we'll
That's
rock
me.
with this.
What did you guys think of the Hunter trade for Cleveland? That's probably the biggest thing that happened for Boston in the past 24 hours.
Right. Go ahead, Jack. Or
Pretty good. No, I mean, I mean, like they have a real body to throw at Tatum and Brown now. Like the closest thing they had till now was Okoro, and he can't really be on the floor offensively because the Celtics just leave him open. So now you have a guy who you can't really leave open because he's a good shooter from three and a good defender to put on Tatum and Brown. So I think it definitely makes them more of a threat. I still think the Celtics should be favored in a series, but this definitely helps the Cavs' case to take them down.
I'm waiting for DeAndre Hunter, like the regression to hit him hard this year because he's shooting like out of his mind.
Well, do you want to know what he's shooting over the last 20 games?
Yeah, please.
34%. And over
There
the
you
last
go.
12 games, he's down to 32%.
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah. Because he was shooting like 45% for like a while. Yeah, I think like Hunter's definitely better than Karis LeVert, and he's
Yes.
definitely better than Georges Niang. So it makes them better. I'll be interested to see like how they'll use him offensively because the two ball dominant guys, I mean, he'll probably used to it playing next to Trey, but they used to let him get on the ball a little bit, especially when Trey was on the bench. So now he's got to share with two dudes who want the ball. But he's like a solid wing, 6'8" wing. He's older than you think because he was like 24 when he got drafted. And he's on a like decent contract. So it's a positive move for Cleveland, but I don't really think it changes the calculus in a playoff series.
This is the Knicks thing as well. They brought in OG Anunoby and they brought in Mikal Bridges, and that's great. But are they going to guard for Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson? Is DeAndre Hunter going to guard for Darius Garland? Like, that's the thing. Unless you're fixing that matchup defensively for Cleveland, there's always going to be something to poke at. And you don't attack the best matchup. That's what the Celtics are good at, is that they attack the matchups that they like and the weak links. Like, DeAndre Hunter doesn't get to guard the Jays because they're attacking Garland and they're running two-man actions with Jared Allen or whatever. Like, and also, he's a better defender for sure. I think it's a great move for Cleveland. But in the lens of like a Celtics matchup, I just don't think it's changing the series really.
No, I mean, it definitely makes them a stronger team in terms of depth. Like, I don't think they're going to miss George
Marcus
Niang.
Smart.
Oh,
Where?
shit.
Oh my God, that looks like a Sixers jersey. What is that?
He's going to the Wizards.
No.
Memphis Grizzlies are trading
No.
Marcus Smart and a 2025 first-round pick to the Wizards in a multi-team trade that sends
Okay,
2 seconds.
Cam
They had to
Johnson, come on.
attach. They had to
Well-
attach a first to Marcus to trade him.
Well, but that might be part of like the spin.
You're right. We don't know the multi-team trade. We don't
whoever.
know.
Like, I've been wanting them to get Cam Johnson real bad. It's very interesting that this is the part. Memphis creates roster flexibility with the move.
Jake,
That doesn't-
you know Marcus is going to get bought out and signed with the team now, and it could be the Lakers, right?
I love
It
Marcus.
sucks that they can't sign him if he gets bought out.
They can't. He makes like $1 million too much.
I like Marcus.
No. Oh, it's
I love Marcus,
'Cause-
man.
Yeah.
Do you know how many games he's
Or
played
no,
this season?
more than that.
I don't
1 million too
care.
much.
Just have him
Not
in a
a
hoodie
lot.
on the bench for all I
No,
care.
I would obviously bring him back. But as far as like him going to another team, that as far as one, it just makes you sad. Obviously, if he goes to like the Bucks can't. Actually, the Bucks might be able to sign him if he gets bought
They
out.
can because they're not
Yeah,
a second apron team now.
Yep.
But you have to be
They
below
ducked
the
it.
first apron, I think, don't you?
I think it's the first apron is the
Oh.
buyout guy. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like a lot
I
of
see.
teams cannot sign him.
Kevin Porter Jr. is a Milwaukee Buck.
For Marjan Beauchamp.
Oh, that's
These idiots
disgusting.
traded the Kevin Porter Jr. stopper, and now if they see the Bucks in the playoffs, I don't know what they're gonna do.
They got the Bucks need to trade for Jaden Springer.
They
the
should just-
Clippers-
Yeah.
Some
Please
NBA
do.
team should just make a team of
guess-
Sam guys that would just
I-
kill them.
Shit, we got to bring back Jaden Springer now. What are we going to do if we see the Bucks in the playoffs?
That's what I'm saying. That's the Kevin Porter. I mean, how
Sorry.
stupid can you
My
be?
bad.
I can't believe
Are
the
you
Celtics
okay?
haven't offered the same thing as the Mavericks did with the season tickets.
I watched your 10-minute video you recorded with Jack in the car, and
Everybody, Jack was about to do it by himself because I was at work.
Yeah,
and I
you
was
gotta
like,
get
I
in.
have to be on this. I was like,
course.
this one I have to be on.
I don't share the sentiments, but it does suck going back to the CBA thing that like you truly have to just dump him for salary purposes. Like I would prefer to have him as opposed to have nothing, which it looks we probably got about 10 minutes because sometimes stuff starts to trickle through afterwards, but it's looking an awful lot like we're bringing in Drew Peterson and maybe O'Shea Brissett or Lonnie Walker, like which you probably won't even find out today or anything like that. So, but yeah, losing Springer for nothing is like just annoying because he at least gave you one thing from the bench that in a pinch, if like Derek or Drew was to like turn an ankle and be out for a half or a game, even if like you don't want him just for 5 minutes, it's just nice to have something like that. But it's well documented. I'm not a Jaden Springer enthusiast, but I don't like losing someone that you could use something for literally nothing.
Yeah,
Jake
get Jake
Laravia.
Laravia.
He's a king.
I like that for the Kings.
Damn, I thought you would.
This has to be Cam Johnson to the Grizzlies. You're right, Jake. It
Come
has
on,
to
man.
be. It has to be.
Come
It has
on.
to be. It has to be. It has to be.
Come on, dude.
Because
The
why else would they
Grizzlies-
trade Jake Laravia?
The Grizzlies can win the fucking West if they get Cam Johnson. Have you
Who
seen
else
what
would they
Jaren
be
Jackson's
getting?
doing?
Yes, I have seen what Jared Jackson's doing. He's ridiculous this year.
He might be
He's,
better
like,
than Ja.
on ball creating. It's crazy. Yeah. And his
Dude,
defense
so-
is nuts.
You go either Jaren Jackson at the 4 or the 5, and then you got Bane, Ja, and Cam Johnson, and then you've got a trillion dudes. So it's like, I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
Look at Chris Haynes. Break actual news. Go, Chris.
No,
Come
Chris
on,
Haynes
man.
has been a dog.
He's real
dropping the
shit.
briefs. Haynes briefs. I love it that he named his show.
Haynes
show
Bruce.
or
He leaned
Haynes
into the
Briefs.
bit. That's
It's-
so good.
Yep.
It's awesome, dude.
Last minute for Brad to cook.
I don't think it's happening.
I don't think
think
he's
we're
gonna
getting
do
anybody.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have loved if he got in
prob-
on the Jake Laravia, but
We talked about Laravia, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing they're getting something real.
they got yeah, there
Um,
has to be something real because they just sent out 20 what? How much does Laravia make?
They're
2
like
mil,
three?
3
2
mil.
mil?
Like they just sent out $23 million in salary. You know how much Cam Johnson makes?
22.
Yeah, right there.
Come on, Grizzlies. I know the
Yeah.
fucking Thunder won't do it because they're cowards.
wanted the
Everyone's like
Pacers to
on
do
the
it.
timeline, like upset about the Marcus trade. Like, I mean, he's probably gonna get bought out, but I'm happy that I don't have to immediately like be like, damn, he's on a team I hate.
The Wizards just took on fucking Chris Middleton and Marcus Smart for like a
What?
first and like multiple firsts. Like they're just like, give us all the washed guys with all due respect.
Hey,
That's what you do when you're a shitty team.
I
man.
know,
That's
I know.
how you build asset
taking
base.
good.
That's how to do it. And then you give the
What
ball
is
to
the same
Alex
thing?
Sarr and let him take you home, baby.
I'm surprised no one tried to trade for Chris Middleton. Doesn't make that much money. And like
He's just washed. He's so washed.
he's
It's-
a bit washed, but like I was listening to the Ball pod before, and it's like if you're the Warriors or like, you're already all in, like, and you
But
need
what do they give up for him?
whoever,
Draymond?
like Buddy Healed and stuff.
He makes like 30 mil though. You'd have to give up like
Kaminga makes
multiple
20,
big
right?
contracts.
So that's a fair point.
Pacers
let's
are
do it.
trading James Wiseman to the Raptors.
Oh, it's going to be a nothing
Sure.
cash. It's a nothing move.
guess.
Yeah, I don't know, but like
I guess.
any team that's already leveraged in risk wise and like taking on dude, Middleton fucking hooped in the playoffs last year.
That's
He
what I
did.
was saying yesterday. I mean, the guy like carried them in the first round.
Yeah.
He was the only one of those guys that was healthy.
It's just hard for a lot of these teams to match that 30 mil though.
I'm trying to pull it up here.
How about Giannis being like my GOAT after the reports came out that it was like, yeah, Giannis was like, go ahead, trade him.
You could do like Healed, Gary Payton, and
Looney.
Looney.
That's a
just-
lot,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
three guys who play.
Yeah. You probably can't do it. You're that's a little too all in.
You could have if you were the Grizzlies. That could have been your Cam Johnson backup plan.
Well, I saw a tweet from Edwin Garcia, who I'm not sure really who that is, but he's just said on ESPN that Memphis tried to trade for Kevin Durant and KD said no. Damn, fuck you, KD. Just trade him. Who cares?
KD wants to stay in Phoenix, man. He likes that zone of weather.
We just got the report that everything's toxic in Phoenix. Don't understand.
Warriors.
I kind of get like why teams don't want to be like, we're going to trade guys no matter what. But at the same time, like, it's not up to them.
Warriors
Guys are forcing their ways out. So look, everyone's just accepting that there's no loyalty except in very specific circumstances, and KD kind of waived that loyalty right. He fucked over Oklahoma City, and he left the Warriors. I think that was fair. Fucked over the Nets. Like at some point, like. I mean, the Nets got a shitload back for him at least. But like at some point, it's like it's a two-way street, and the Celtics would never fuck over anybody, obviously.
Yeah,
No,
it never
no.
happened. And it was kind of messy with OKC at the end there. There was a lot of stuff coming out about like, locker room issues and like it was not a surprise when he left from all the stuff that was coming out. So
Yeah, he was tweeting on the burner, like, how am I supposed to win with these guys?
yeah, the Warriors. Yeah.
Look at Miles Turner's tweet. Just tweeted Survivor.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude. It is wild as a human to be part of the trade deadline, I'm guessing, as an NBA player. Like Dennis Schroeder has gone from living in Brooklyn to Golden State to, for a moment, it may be Miami. Then he was moving to Utah, and now he's living in Detroit. Like, it's quite a role. Like, Gary Washburn tweet.
I'll read it. Celtics are expected to focus on the buyout market to add to the roster. They can't sign a player who's made above the mid-level exception, $12.8 million, before being waived.
So Reggie Jackson.
Reggie is one that does like.
Okay, who do we
makes
want?
his known a little bit.
Like, first we got to figure out who the buyout guys are that make below the. Can the Heat buy out
PJ
Kevin Love?
Tucker.
Oh my god, kill me.
Yes.
Kill
I was
me.
shocked he was still in the league.
Yeah.
Mo Bamba. You can go get Bamba.
You can bring him
I
in the
Really
song.
want him.
Like Lonnie Brissett
man.
are obviously like the guys that have been talked about. I'd rather just bring in Lonnie at this point and like get him.
I'm not a Lonnie guy, but
Jack hates Lonnie.
Why?
I don't think he's that good.
As opposed to Reggie Jackson or these other buyout guys that we're gonna get.
I mean, I guess I'd rather just elevate Peterson and JD Davison before I sign Lonnie Walker.
I'll see. I'd elevate Peterson. I just don't see it with JD. I'd rather use the roster slot on.
My thing with
Lonnie.
JD is bring in another guard, reward him for his 3 years. Lonnie's not going to play in the playoffs. JD's not going to play in the playoffs. Just reward the guy who's in the G League.
Adam
still believe in
Himmelsbach
JD.
has confirmed that the Celtics are not making a move by screenshotting somebody's tweet that said, "I'm waiting for Himmelsbach."
I saw that.
Nice. Reggie Jackson's played like NBA minutes recently.
Yeah.
He's got that on Lonnie. I think I do am a little concerned about the ball handling if one of the guards goes down, but then Tatum will probably just do more of it. So I could see that for the argument for Reggie.
Do you want to know what? Do you want to guess what his field goal percentage is this season?
41%.
Anyone else?
35.
You look like you
35.
said 30. I'm gonna guess 30, 38.
39.1.
Yeah,
That's
all
pretty-
right.
Yeah, hey, all right. But
We were close.
34 from 3. So
That's good.
Hey, you got something.
I think long term, I don't think JD's like an NBA player. I think that there still could be some. I don't think Lonnie's anything special, but there's more upside there to me than JD Davison. I could see an argument for Brissett having someone who's a bigger wing that knows the system to come in. But Peterson, I would be very surprised if he's not almost certainly.
You think the Heat
confirmed.
buy out Kyle Anderson?
That would be fantastic.
What's he make,
Kevin-
11?
Yeah, or 9 for some reason.
9?
I think.
Either way, we could sign him, right?
Yeah, let me look. I got to go get dressed and head to the garden
eight-
soon, but
8.7.
Perfect.
yeah, it's doable.
All right, Kevin Love, buy him out. Send him to. But he has to accept the buyout, and he makes 3.8, and this year and next year. So, if you're Kyle Anderson, you've got 8.7 million for 3 years. Why are you getting bought out?
It's true. Yeah, they'd have to agree to it. He would have to really want to play. Kelly Olynyk makes, I think, just too much
0.2
money.
million.
Yeah,
more.
he makes too much. Barely too much, but too much.
Bruce Brown makes too much.
Bruce Brown
Bruce
makes
Brown
too
makes
much
too
as well,
much.
yes.
Yeah, look,
That would be
Yeah.
to answer the question we did way earlier. That would be the guy. I'd be like, that would be sick to have Bruce Brown in the Celtics.
Bruce Brown would be cool.
Yeah, fantastic. He's gonna get bought out and go to someone more that needs him probably. Like the Lakers could probably get someone like Bruce Brown now. Are they an apron team?
I know. I can't remember. They dodged one of them, but I can't remember if it's the second or first apron.
Okay. Yeah, it's impossible. Painful
That's
end
right.
to what? So Zach Lowe, painful end to what passes for the Marcus Smart era in Memphis. Traded 2 firsts to get him, 1 to get off him. Ouch. Also, yeah, the Grizz have too many rotation guys already, but Laravia was solid this season. Makes a lot of nitty-gritty winning plays. Should make the Kings rotation. So the Grizz just traded away 2 two rotation players for nothing?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Where were you,
That doesn't
Brad?
make sense to me. Yeah, what? Go get Laravia. Hello?
That
So
looks
these,
like the
I mean, that's-
Lakers.
these NBA teams are just terrified of the CBA.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Lakers are an apron team. They're over the first apron, so they cannot sign anybody over the
Thank God.
12.8. So yeah,
Thank
we don't have to worry about anyone good going there. They can have Reggie Jackson.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that was a second apron thing, not a first apron thing. That makes sense, though.
It's
I-
ridiculous that everyone
When
needs
it
to know.
first got covered, Jack, a lot of people had it as a second apron limit because I thought so too, and then I got corrected on Reddit. I got
I see.
actually on Reddit, so I will never forget that.
So the Kings are sending a 2028 second rounder to Memphis plus Colby Jones and Alex Len to Washington to acquire Grizzlies Laravia as part of the Marcus Smart trade. We could definitely have matched that, but
Bro, the Wizards have Brogdon and Marcus.
man,
They just have the 2023 Celtics backcourt.
Oh,
I keep seeing people saying Jake in the comments and stuff. I'm like, got rid of Jake for a while. I'm like, I'm still here. I'm like, oh, Jake Laravia. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, dude. The who did you just say?
I said the Wizards have Brogdon and Smart right now.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Thankfully, we know Rob Williams to the Lakers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Do the Wiz go get Grant Williams now?
They have to.
Oh my god.
Trade for Tice
Well, yeah,
too next year.
he can rehab on the sideline in Washington. Why not?
Piss everybody off a little bit.
Dude, yeah.
What a day.
That's a brutal end
Or
for Marcus, man. But Brad just completely nailed the timing of it. Like Porzingis has played way more games than Marcus at this point and been way better. Like even when Marcus played in those 20 games this season, it was kind of rough, man. Like just physically, I know he like works his way into shape a lot of times, but I mean, he was shooting 35% from the field, making Reggie Jackson look efficient out here.
I don't want to say it, but do we think his career's like on its way to being over? Just he's taken so many hits. He's had so many injuries.
What's his contract? He's still got one more year after this before he can come back.
I think he signs with the Celtics on a minimum for sure. It's the freest move.
Yeah, and Rob. Bring him back.
See, Rob still has like. I'm surprised Rob survived.
Rob's still good. Trae Young's future with Atlanta is becoming murky per Chris Haynes.
Whoa, Chris, it's a little late for that to be.
Well, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
I mean, that just probably means we're gonna tank the rest of this year, trade him this summer.
They don't own their own pick, which I actually like though, because the sunk cost fallacy. It's like don't hold on to Hunter and don't hold on to whoever because you're worried about not having your own pick. The pick's gone. It's the Spurs, like
true.
But man, that Hawks pick now is looking pretty juicy because they're already lost like 10 of 11 games, the Hawks. And
so Johnson's out and they traded Bogdan and Hunter.
And they are currently the 9th seed. Yeah, 1-9 in their last 10. 5 games below 500. The Sixers are 2.5 games behind. How are the Sixers still so far behind?
I don't know, man.
They suck.
Well, clearly
he just refuses to play. He just started playing.
Yeah. Well, also Paul George came back against who they played, the Heat yesterday, and the Sixers have been kind of good lately. Like they won 4 or 5 in a row. They almost beat the Celtics, and then Paul George came back immediately, went like 3 of 11. And like that I wish I would have gone harder on saying that the Paul George thing was going to be a disaster. I definitely talked about how it just has the real chance to become the next version of the Tobias Harris thing, but I wish I would have gone harder because it's just completely turned into that. Like Tobias Harris, I can make an argument, has been like very easily better than Paul George, purely from an availability perspective, and then production wise, the efficiency is kind of the same, and he's vibe wise. I mean, that's the problem though. You weren't going to fix the Tobias Harris vibes in Philly, but
exactly.
I don't know if Tobias would have been so miserable in the Eagles celebration. I mean, Paul George wouldn't be happy for the city. They made the Super Bowl. He's miserable.
Well, and do you think I think a lot of the issue Sixers fans had with Tobias was how much money he made. Like if he was doing that at $15 million a year, they would have been like, hey, whatever, he's a decent starter. It's when he's making 45 that it's a problem. So it's like the funniest outcome possible as everything with the Sixers is. I mean, he misses a week and a half, comes back, plays like shit, and then goes back on the injury report. It's brutal, man.
What's annoying a little bit though is that I can kind of see a path to their future even with this shit. Like they've got Maxey, Jared McCain looked like could be an all-star. They just traded for Grimes. They got some young talent on the team. Like not a path to like contention, but there's like a couple of lifelines to get them out of like complete hell, which I don't love.
The Sixers should have did the Luka trade. Like they should have had it like logically. And no, like they shouldn't have traded for Luka. They should have been the ones to do the trade that nobody expected, where it was Embiid, because he makes so much money. He's not really available. He hasn't done like significant what. I just
simmed on Tankathon because Atlanta has the Spurs pick. I mean, Spurs has it, and it immediately jumped to number 1 overall.
Flag and Wemby would be terrifying.
The Thunder just waved Tice.
Oh,
he's coming home.
Bring him home.
Oh my god, I mean,
The sixth center.
I love Tice, but like
Bring him back. Bring him back.
six
please.
centers.
I don't
Jack,
care.
if they manage to get him back, you tweet out that scared street video. They bringing the kid out of the cell.
I
The
will.
Celtics-
I will.
Yeah.
I will also. I don't know how I'm leaving before Sam, but I do need to go get to the tee, get ready, head to the garden because I got to be there soon.
I
But
just conceded them in a park under the building today, so I'm just chilling.
Are you
hell
gonna
yeah.
stay if I leave right now?
No, I'm gonna wrap too.
All right,
Okay.
well,
Do we want to just
You guys
wrap
can
it?
stay.
I'll stay.
You guys can
What do
stay
you got,
live.
Spoonie?
I can probably do like 15 more minutes, Shake, if you
Cheers.
want. And then I should
Okay.
probably get
Take
back
our
to work.
channel. Stay alive here as long as you
Yeah.
like. It's our channel.
Yeah.
It's your channel. I'll
Thanks,
put
man.
this at the bottom as a ticker because I still have
What-
one for you
yeah.
guys.
While you're
Make
here,
sure to subscribe
unsubscribe from How About Them Celtics.
Whoa,
I'm just
Create a new
get him
account.
out, get him
Subscribe
down,
to
get him
us.
off the screen, get him out, get him out, get him out.
Congratulations on
cool.
10,000, gentlemen. I know I
Yeah.
said this. But
Thank you.
officially,
Thank you so much,
Appreciate
guys.
Appreciate
Yeah.
you. Appreciate you.
I will
yeah,
put
man.
the trade
do a
deadline
poll.
background up on the screen for you guys for the two. And Sam and I are gonna dip, but you guys stay alive as long as you want.
Later, boys. Have fun.
Goodbye.
Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna make a live poll for the buyout guys on Twitter, and see what
Love
the
it.
people think.
Can
so
I
we've
talk
got-
about the Mark Williams trade for a minute
Yes.
here?
Firstly, can you just help me with options quickly? So Brissett, Lonnie,
Reggie,
Reggie Jackson.
Tice.
I'm not sure how many options I can do. I can only do 4. So
Do,
Reggie
do
Jackson,
Kyle
Tice.
do Kyle Anderson instead of Reggie Jackson.
But I don't think he's going to get bought out though. 3
Okay.
years on his contract at $9 million. Why is he getting bought out?
Well, they pay him $25 million.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, you can pay them like the whole thing up front and buy them
Alright.
out of the whole deal. It's just a shitload of money to do it that
That's the
way.
thing.
Yeah, like
But-
why
but-
is Miami like they probably think they can move him for a second in the offseason, right?
They definitely can.
Yeah, so
The-
they're
the
not
pro-
going to do that.
The problem is, which I don't know, obviously, is like I thought I saw something about because like Kyle Anderson was supposed to go to Toronto, which fell through, which was supposed to keep the Heat under one of the thresholds, whether it was the first apron or the luxury tax. I think it was the tax, and then that falling through pushed them back above the tax. So if that means that they ending up having to pay more, then maybe they buy him out, right? Like,
Yeah.
if they're trying to be cheap, then maybe. I'm gonna take him out because he feels too like if he's the guy. Obviously, you want
yeah.
Kyle Anderson, right?
What about
So-
PJ Tucker?
Oh my god.
I mean, he's kind of on that level, right? He's
I
a big
think-
wing. We need a big wing.
He's 100 years old.
I
Torrey
know.
Craig from Jamie in
Torrey,
the chat.
yeah,
Okay.
do Torrey Craig. That's a good one.
All right.
He's a guy a lot of people wanted. Every time I've watched the Bulls, which is not often, when he played, he was like solid from what I saw. But he's shooting 43% from 3 this year, Torrey Craig.
Hey.
Yeah.
Dude, he can
On
shoot.
4 a game.
All right.
And
I know
he's
Steven in the
6'7",
Discord
6'8".
hates him.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm not a huge fan,
Oh,
but
dude, yeah, of course. I mean, he only played in 9 games though.
Yeah.
So,
that makes sense.
but so he's been in Chicago for 2 years. He's shooting 40. He shot 39% last season, and
And the season before.
And the season before that, he was in Phoenix, right? He was there for 3 years. He shot 37%. So over his last stint, he's definitely a 37, 38% 3-point shooter on okay volume. So you don't hate it, man. It's crazy how much being tall and good at shooting gets you paid.
Yeah.
Goddamn, man. So I played pickup yesterday for the first time in a while, and I've been doing a lot of form shooting at the park, getting my shot down, and I fucking rained fire down from 3
Love it.
in pickup. I hit one 3 with a contest as these guys were walking past and just hit the net, and they're like, "Oh, shooter!" And I was like, "All right,
Hell
can die happy now. Can die happy now."
There's no better feeling. Yeah.
The difference between me and Torrey Craig is that He's 6'7" and athletic, and I'm 5'7" and unathletic.
Minor difference.
Yeah, which
is
lame.
is he that athletic these days? I mean, obviously he's more athletic than
relative.
us, but yeah.
Relative.
But like
Relative, yes.
he doesn't move very well anymore.
No.
And that used to be kind of the thing about him is like he didn't used to shoot, so he would get on the floor like in a Brissett style role. And then now he's sort of turned into this like veteran shooter, but like I don't think he can really move very well anymore, which happens to limit your defensive upside some.
Yeah, I'm trying to find his. So he was in the 2010 and 11 draft. I'm trying to find his draft combine stuff, which probably isn't
Probably not
relevant anymore.
Did he even get drafted?
It's a good question. No.
I don't think he did. Yeah.
Wow, good for him, dude. 7-year NBA career as an undrafted guy.
Yeah, it's solid,
All right.
man.
Should we recap? I haven't heard. Oh, we haven't talked about the Kuzma trade.
So I saw a lot of like Bucks fans being like, "Oh, this is like a move for something bigger. We're now going to move Kuzma for something else."
Yeah.
They just have Kyle Kuzma on their team now, and I am a long
Dude.
time Kuzma defender.
Dude.
But he does not care about basketball, and maybe he will now that he's back in Milwaukee. But his true shooting's like 50% this season or something like that. Not field goal percentage, true shooting. He has been awful. And like, I don't think Kuzma's the type of guy that you just like all of a sudden, oh, I'm on a good team. Now my head's in it and I'm good. So
Dude.
I'd rather just risk Middleton being healthy if I'm the Bucks, frankly.
No question. I thought it was maybe going to be part of another move. And because that put them below the first apron, and then there was like Bobby Porter's for Marcus Smart. Yeah. I was like, exactly. Then they could get to like 15, 16 million. I was like, okay, that's something I can talk myself into. But dude, Kyle Kuzma, he went viral the other day for his air balls. Like,
Yeah.
he has not been good for a long, and like. Obviously, he had the Lakers exceptionalism bump. Any player that plays for the Lakers just gets like an additional 40% added to who they are as a player. Kind of good and bad. Like if they're playing badly, that it's way worse. Like Danny Green, Lakers fans like sent him death threats for missing a couple shots in the bubble, but then he ended up having a few nice years after that. And the reverse is true for like I don't know, Wenyan Gabriel, who I actually kind of liked a little bit, but like, and Austin Reeves ended up actually proving them right. But
Jordan Clarkson, they used to talk about Jordan Clarkson like he
Yes.
was a future superstar instead of just like a 6-man chucker.
Yeah, well, Kuzma was like the king. He was like the poster boy for this idea,
Yes.
right? Like we all know
100%.
the infamous Tatum Kuzma graphic where a Lakers fan made like the Kyle Kuzma is better than Jason Tatum thing in their rookie
With
season.
more potential too.
Well,
More
the potential was maybe, and the fact that he had leadership in as one of the attributes too, as rookies was awesome.
Offense,
So,
defense,
yeah.
leadership, potential. Of course, the 4 things we always evaluate guys on.
That's NBA Instagram at its finest, right there.
Yes.
So with Washington, 4-year sample size, he's a 33% 3-point shooter on volume, which is that's actually when you're bad at shooting, the volume becomes bad. Like we don't we want you to be more judicious if you're not good at the shooting part. So he has 2 seasons in his 8-year NBA career of shooting 36%. So that's his ceiling is 36%. And that was like 6 years ago. And when he played for that Lakers team, he was a 7th man. Like in the playoffs, he played 23 minutes a game for the Lakers, and let's remember, he was playing with still like the very end of LeBron James's peak. And it was kind of LeBron James's peak, especially at that point, because he got to take 3 months off before the playoffs started with the bubble shut down. So like really, catered towards both LeBron and the injury-prone Anthony Davis, right? 2 guys that if you're going to pick for playing the playoffs with a big 2-month rest beforehand,
They're up there.
They're up there. And so I'm a big Giannis guy. Kuzma is not playing with prime LeBron James and peak Anthony Davis and a really good fucking roster too. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Alex Caruso,
Rondo was good for them.
Like that team was fucking awesome. Yeah. And Kuzma, is now in theory like their third best player.
Yeah, man. I don't think there's any theory about it, right? Is there anyone even really? I guess Brooke Lopez, maybe you could make the argument is their third best player. But like offensively, presumably they're going to want Kyle Kuzma to do things because he's not like when he tries, he's actually a pretty decent defensive player, but that, comes and goes. But like the argument for Kuzma was always like, he'll make open threes, like 33, 34, 35% is trash, partly because of his horrible shot selection.
Well, yeah, let's look at that.
He always was around like 37, 38% on open and wide open threes, which is fine. And the fact that he could put it on the floor, he could get to the rim. He had like a little mid-range game at times. He's flashed. Like he had a pretty developed offensive game. That has all like completely left him. And maybe it's just him joking around in Washington and not taking it seriously. But like Jordan Poole's playing great. Like it's not a good sign if you play bad like that, especially for like a year and a half, So dude, what is the vision with Kyle? Like, I'd rather just go get a straight shooter, a guy closer to AJ Green, like another AJ Green type than someone like Kuzma, who's like a really weird fit on a team that's already kind of desperate for spacing, just because Giannis has to play so much. Like you kind of don't have to guard Kuzma anymore. And he'll kill you with his cutting though, right?
Oh,
no, has Kuzma ever cut? So dude, it's a weird fit to me. But like I do see like there is like a universe where he tries hard again and kind of figures it out, I guess.
So I want to say shout out the chat. We can't actually put the comments on screen here. Because we're on the other channel, but we see them. Yes, Jack and Sam look different today, but it's also simulcasting on the First to the Floor channel. Make sure you like the stream on this channel and on First to the Floor as well. It is 7:30 a.m. here in sunny Tasmania, which is beautiful. But yeah, dude, and like defensively he hasn't been good in a while either, and like obviously you hope that changes when he goes back to like. The dream for Milwaukee, if we're going to try and spin it positive, is that this is like the PJ Washington move for the Mavericks. That's the dream. But I always thought PJ was good.
Me too. I was a long time PJ guy.
You loved you some PJ long time.
Damn right. Yeah. yeah.
So I from that perspective, I don't get it, man. I guess giving yourself more flexibility long term makes sense, but then they didn't do anything with it. And so, like, I'm not going to be surprised if Kuzma's not in the closing lineup in the playoffs. I'm just not. It's going to be Lillard, Giannis, Lopez, Bobby Portis,
AJ Green.
Yeah. He's their guy. And maybe not Portis. It's going to be Prince or Gary Trent or Andre Jackson, I guess. And not only did they do that, but they also traded the guy that they traded in the first round, AJ Johnson, this past draft.
Yeah, man. Who they reached for.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, that's a reach.
Dude, and was a project for a team that was like a win-now team. And maybe he's not good. But like, how would you know? He didn't play at all this year. I know a lot of people didn't love that draft pick. There was some people like he was awful in the Australia, in the NBL. But like, a lot of 18-year-olds are like suck in men's leagues. Like, there's not really. He was awesome in summer league, I think, if I remember correctly. But like to get off your first round pick from this season, and there's also an emotional part of this too. Like Middleton was the second best player on their finals team.
Yeah, man, he's like a legend, and they're gonna retire his jersey without a doubt. And you get rid of him for Kyle Kuzma, who like. Again, Z Gamer, I saw you say it in the chat. The good version of Kuzma is better than this version of Middleton. I agree with that. But that's always been the problem with Kyle Kuzma is you have no idea what version of him you're getting. Kind of like with Chris Middleton right now, but Middleton's obviously due to injury and Kuzma is due to his love for extremely large jackets. So I just think it just seems needlessly risky to me. I would rather get a player with a lower ceiling that I know can play in the playoffs for me and isn't going to pass the ball to the other team and then shoot an air ball and then blow a switch. And then Doc Rivers yanks him and he doesn't play another second that like that is going to happen in a game.
He's just not a serious person.
Yeah.
Not a serious person. And so I'm update on the buyout free agent poll. So we currently have 167 votes in and we have 28. So the four options are Brissett, Lonnie, Reggie Jackson, Torrey Craig. 28% for Brissett, 35% for Lonnie, and 30% for Torrey Craig, and 5% for Reggie Jackson, your guy.
I do not want Reggie Jackson. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Please, for the love of God.
And in the comments, we've got some great stuff. I'm going to throw up Daniel Tice a few times here. 4 cheeks of the same ass. Marcus Smart from people that don't understand how the buyout market works, which is fair. And I honestly don't fault anybody, especially these days, for not understanding how shit works because it's fucking complicated and it's so annoying that we all have to be borderline lawyers to figure this stuff out.
I know it's ridiculous. And it used to be like super complicated, but manageable. And now with the double apron, it's just so fucking insane, man. It's really lame that they did. There was really no reason for it either because everyone's making so much money. Why are we punishing teams like the Celtics? Like the Celtics have to just give up Jaden Springer. Okay, he's not that good, but like he has a role. He's an NBA player-ish. Like, and we just have to give him away because the tax penalties in the CBA is so ruthless. And it's just like, why are you making your best teams worse? And so anyway, I won't get on my soapbox again.
Well, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to change.
I was going to ask you about Hunter. I don't think did we talk about that with you yet?
Yes.
Okay, I
Briefly.
can't remember what's happened. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think
I want to talk about Mark Williams.
Oh, yeah, okay. Go ahead.
I love Mark Williams.
Yes.
And I think he's going to be really, really good. And the fact that the stupid ass Mavs didn't get any assets out of the Lakers allowed them to go and get Mark Williams. I actually do think it's a slight overpay by the Lakers for Mark Williams because I think that 31 pick is going to be really, really juicy. But the fact that they can just get Luka Doncic and Mark Williams for what amounts to 2 picks and Anthony Davis is absurd. It's stupid ass Lakers like exceptionalism BS. Like, did you listen to Simmons with Goldsberry?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Where he was like, he went through like he went through their entire history like over the last 10 years, and then at the end he's just like, that is how I felt when I saw the Mark Williams trade. It's like you just got a starting big who's 23 years old for, look, again, slight overpay if you just take that trade in, but if you look at the full context and look at the Luka steal is why they could do that trade. It is so frustrating. It's so like he is a starting center in the league, I think.
So what did I see? I saw the reason that the Lakers were able to keep that extra pick is that because Nico Harrison refused to let the Lakers talk to Luka or the agent about and essentially ask him, would you re-sign here? That was used by Rob Pelinka as an additional leverage point to keep that draft pick. So one, they were like, it's a risk because he's fat, and which by the way, he doesn't look very fat to me. He looks like the best shape he's been in years since in the Lakers jersey. And then two, by keeping it a secret, or a complete secret, he was able to use that as leverage against Nico Harrison, which Nico Harrison didn't have to accept as leverage, but just like when you're having a conversation, when someone's able to bring up something like that, it's like, yeah, that's kind of fair. He could have held firm, but the fact that he did it the way that he did it gave Rob Pelinka more negotiating power in the room, which is why Nico Harrison pissed himself and didn't give up that pick. I agree. So Mark Williams, I'm not going to pretend to know. I've watched a lot of Mark Williams because, by the way, it's hard to catch a Mark Williams game. Doesn't happen.
He's
very
hurt a
often.
lot, and that is
Yeah.
the big. That's a huge risk for sure.
He's played less than Rob in the past 2
Yeah.
seasons.
Yeah,
So,
that's
and
bad.
That's doesn't get much worse than that. So, like, to give up again your first round pick, Dalton Connect. While he's not going to be a star, he's going to be a role player in the NBA for a long time, and a guy you literally just drafted, and a 2031 first. Like, that's real value for Mark Williams and the last of your real assets as well. So it's a big risk, and so I think that it makes sense for both teams. Like, it makes sense for both teams. Like, Charlotte's trying to do a real rebuild now. That's what's very clear to me. The new ownership team is like, we don't care that we've got LaMelo. He doesn't mean anything really. He just like, look, we've got him. He's playing, and he's barely a positive when. I don't even know if he is a positive.
I don't think so, but I don't know for sure. Yeah.
And part of that's obviously the team's not very good around him as well. But like having LaMelo on your team is not the same as having a top 10, top 15, top 20 player on your team. Like, he hasn't proven to be that guy. He's proven to be a guy that could put up 30 a night on like okay efficiency and sell tickets and jerseys.
And cool passes, yeah.
And cool passes, yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, he does some cool shit. And that's
totally.
And that's great. But like, it makes no sense to me to like treat him and that situation as a situation that's like, yep, we've got our blue chip talent in LaMelo and Brandon Miller, and rebuild where we're now like on the way to being whoever, the Pistons, and we're trying to win now. No, you should definitely still be in like complete tank mode, and that's I think what they've shown to be doing with the new ownership group is just take on money, get more picks, try and get Cooper Flag. That's a good point, Ben Vallis.
We do not, Ben.
Yeah. So can you please message Jack Simone to let him know that we can't do that?
Yeah. Well, and like,
yeah.
Sorry, really quick. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Jake. If you're
That we
talking to
can't
Ben.
do that, and then that's about it, really.
Okay. So it's not necessarily about Mark Williams specifically. It could have been Claxton. It could have been any of these kind of similar defensive first athletic centers. The fact that they were in a position to get any of those guys is what I find extraordinarily frustrating. But yeah, I would trade LaMelo. Like, I would just try to go get some assets for LaMelo because he is never going to lead a winning team. I'm sorry. Like, when they won 43 games like 3 years ago, that is probably the ceiling with a team led by LaMelo, in my opinion. So I would trade his ass. And then like build around Brandon Miller. They took a really young raw guy in Salon in the last draft, which is fine. It's not a great draft. You hope maybe he hits. So I'm with you. Like, I think Charlotte finally I would be excited if I was a Hornets fan that we're actually kind of rowing in the right direction. Got a first for PJ Washington. That's a good trade.
How can you be excited as a Hornets fan?
I would be less miserable as a Hornets fan.
Yeah.
I got to roll though, Jake. I got to get back to work here.
Okay, cool. I'll hang for a little bit, but and hang out with the chat just because I may as well. 7:40 a.m. here. I'll talk a little bit about. Well, quickly, are you annoyed at the Celtics for not doing anything more?
No, I'm really not. You don't know what's out there. You don't what something's going to cost. If like the LaRavia deal is the one.
Possible. Yeah.
Because like we needed Springer to do it, I'm pretty sure. So the fact that you give Springer away well before the actual deadline, and then a guy like LaRavia leaves, because you would have cut $1 million, right? You would have saved some money, and so that's like $6 million in the tax. So you're cutting money, and you get a guy I think can really play. I think not really worried about it. Probably did Springer too soon, in my opinion, but maybe the ownership was just like, we're not adding, like, get rid of him and save us $16 million. And that's it. So I'm not mad at him, other than like, it's kind of what I expected. So,
hey,
all right, I got to roll. Talk to you
peace.
tonight, Jake, on IR. All right. Peace. Bye,
good.
everybody. See you, chat.
I'll hang for a little bit more with the chat here, but thank you, Ben Vallis, producing from the plane, I believe, right now, which is impressive. But yeah, I'll hang with the chat. I can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. There's obviously a ton of trades happening. Man, this is a big face now. So Jack, if you're alive, you want to put some graphics. If you can hear me, put some graphics around my face so it's not just my giant face, but that's also fine. So I saw a comment from Tyler Ralston here. Again, I can't put the comments on screen, but I can see them all here. Are you losing sleep over... Am I the only Celtics fan that's already losing sleep over the Cavs acquiring DeAndre Hunter? My question, and the way that I sleep better is DeAndre Hunter helping Darius Garland play defense? And until that the Cavaliers solve that problem, then I just don't think that the matchup favors the Cavs. They've got too many pressure points. And then also they do not play their best when they've got Mobley and Allen on the court at the same time against the Celtics. Like, Okoro wasn't able to guard Jaylen Brown last playoffs either. And by the way, DeAndre Hunter's never had a bunch of success like guarding the Jays anyway. So he makes the Cavs better. That's a fact. Good, great trade for the Cavs. Improves their versatility, their depth. They don't have to solely rely on Dean Wade now. But Dean Wade's a much better defender from, in my opinion, than DeAndre Hunter. But so if Dean Wade's healthy and they get DeAndre Hunter, now that the depth is real. But there's a reason the Celtics are still heavily favored to win the Eastern Conference as we sit here right now, is because the odds makers know that the Celtics are going to be favorites in that series. Let's see the Cavs get through the East first, man. This team has not proven to be very good in the playoffs yet. Haven't even gotten close. So obviously this is a completely different season, and they're performing at a level that is not even comparable. And I'm not even saying that the Cavs team is the same as previous iterations. Mobley's taking steps, Garland's having a much better year. But despite Mobley having a much better year, Garland having a much better year, how did Mobley look in the matchup the other day? Yeah, what up, Jack? I think I just hang out here. I'm not busy. So, if you're happy for me to hang out with the chat here for a little bit, I can. Who do you think that fills the last two roster spots for the Celtics? I think it'll be Drew Peterson for sure that gets converted, and I think that they'll sign one free agent. It's possible they convert JD Davison and Drew Peterson instead of signing a free agent. My guess is that they sign Drew Peterson and then they sign a free agent. Cool. Thanks, Jack. I'll just DM you on Twitter once I'm ready to bounce in a few minutes. But Drew Peterson getting converted, which I like. JD Davison, not my favorite player, but wouldn't shock me. As Jack said earlier on the stream, definitely makes sense to reward a guy that's been in the system for a long, long time. But I like to try and get someone in that, in theory, has at least the chance of playing for you in the playoffs or has some type of upside or veteran experience, which is why I think Torrey Craig, Lonnie, or Brissett I would all like more than JD Davison. Oh, interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that how we do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we do it different in Australia? Didn't know that. But yeah, Brissett, Lonnie, or Torrey Craig would be my 3 guesses as potential buyout free agent guys. Kevin Love would be someone that I would like as well. But again, the Heat would actually have to buy him out, which we just don't know if that would happen. The lack of Yabu is really sad. I think Tice, hey, 6th big. Why not try and get to double-digit bigs if you can? Yabu, I think, just played so well for the Sixers that they made actual cost-cutting moves so they could offer him the mid-level exception and keep him long-term. Now we'll just have to hope that someone clears enough cap space to sign Yabu away from Philadelphia, which I think it's more likely than not he stays with Philly now, which is sad. Can the Celtics beat OKC to make the finals? Absolutely. If the Celtics make the finals, I think they'll be favored in the series. I think I still have concerns about OKC's offense in the playoffs. Again, Sam Presti, the coward, makes no moves. He's yet to make a move in this era that has real risk to it. No risk. Like Hartenstein, free agent, trading for Caruso for fucking Josh Giddey and a pick. Absolutely no risk. Go all in. Go trade for Cam Johnson. Like them not getting Cam Johnson or some type of wing creator, shooter, scorer upgrade when you are having an historic season and are the favorite to win the Western Conference, I think it's a disservice to the team and for a team that should be disappointed if they don't win the NBA title. That's what I think. I think the Celtics can definitely beat OKC. I think the Celtics defense when we get to the playoffs, assuming both teams are healthy, like I've been pretty solid on the Celtics being a flip the switch. They've been coasting team through this season, and we saw it last year with the defense as well. Like despite them, I think statistically having the third or fourth best net rating last season, they cranked that defense up to a new level. Specifically, Al Horford and Drew Holiday, two guys that I think are in like second gear defensively for the most part. And having those two guys, I think without Porzingis, I might pick the Thunder though. So that's a big part of this. If the Celtics are healthy, if the Thunder are healthy, which I saw Chet's coming back tomorrow or the next day, so that's huge for Oklahoma City, obviously. But the West is going to be tough, man. I love what the Grizzlies. I wish that they could have gotten Cam Johnson. Yeah, man. The Grizzlies not getting Cam Johnson is really disappointing to me. It sounds like they tried to trade for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant nixed it, which is fucking lame because him on the Grizzlies would have been insane. I would have picked them to make the finals. But alas, I still think that Grizzlies are going to be really tough. They're a two-way beast. Jaren Jackson taking a leap into like surefire All-NBA territory is not something that I saw coming. Like his leap as a self-creator in the half court offensively is like his touch around the floater range is like I just expect every shot that he takes in that range to go in now. He's been awesome. He's like their best player now when you factor in the two-way capabilities and Ja kind of being in and out of the lineup. I still love Ja. Still my favorite non-Celtic to watch. But yeah, like I understand the Thunder not doing anything. Like they're so good, but I think they've got so many picks and so many assets that like at some point you just can't use all of them, and you just never know what's going to happen. Right now you've got an MVP type player playing at an MVP type level, dominating the NBA. Like you just never know what's going to happen. Like what if Chet gets injured again and like his career kind of starts to be derailed by injuries, or Hartenstein gets injured next time? You just never know. Right now, you're Western Conference favorites. Why not try and make a run at the title? Like next year, like I just ran the Tankathon one time to see because of the Atlanta kind of depleting their own roster despite not having their own pick and the Spurs having it. Right now, the Spurs have that pick and it's like the 10th best odds, and it immediately jumps to number one overall. And that chance of getting number one overall is gonna go higher. And what if fucking San Antonio gets Cooper Flag and they just leapfrog you as like the surefire title favorite in the conference? You just don't know what's gonna happen. So I would have gone for something, but that is what it is. All right. I'll jump off in a bit. I'll just shoot Jack a message to let him know that I'm gonna hop off. But yeah, I'll get out of here, and we'll be on First to the Floor. We'll be live after the game, and then I'll be perfect. All right, Jack. Whenever you're ready, hit the lights. I'll get out of here, but we'll be live later tonight with Greeny for Celtics Late Night playback Celtics blog. I know Jack and Sam, how about them Celtics, will be doing their show tonight as well. But yeah, the lights are going to shut off here at some point. But I appreciate you all, and get out of here. I need elevator music now so I don't know exactly when this is going to end, but just go down with the ship. Go Celtics. Still the favorites.